Hello students, now you are learning fifth unit, that is soil. In this unit you are going to learn types of soil and soil erosion. Here make a list of food items you ate today. Most of the food items we eat are made from these things grown in soil or comes from the animals raised on it. Here pick one food item and trace its source and on which soil it was grown. Here there's now you make a list food items you ate today. Now which food you ate. Now daily it is a routine that we are eating roti, chapati, rice, vegetable, fruits, isn't it? So you have to make a list of that today what you have eaten. Then most of the food items we eat are made from things grown in soil. For whatever eating food, for example, the rice, wheat, roti, chapati, that whatever eating foods, all that fruits and vegetables, fruits, so all that we are growing in soil and comes from animals raised on it. Some animals are also getting some food what like milk. So milk also we can after we can make that as a curd, buttermilk and cheese. So many things we can create, we can prepare, isn't it? So like this, then pick one food item and trace its source on which soil it was grown. But here there is here many different types of soils are there, but some crops we can grow only a particular soil, and also it was grown in suitable crop, suitable soil we can grow the crops. So like this we can growing many crops, isn't it? Now we go to learn about the what is soil. Soil is one of the most important natural resources. It is the topmost layer of the earth's surface on which plants and trees grow. Here soil is one of the most important natural resource. It is a natural resource, nobody can prepare that. It is a naturally will get that soil. It is a most important natural resources and it is the topmost layer of the earth's surface. We will get that soil. So for example you can see here in that this is what a soil, isn't it? So this soil we will get that in topmost layer of the surface of the earth's surface, and which plants and trees can grow. In this soil we can grow plants and trees. For example you can see here first in the beginning of this the grounds looks very hard. After that farmer they can flow the field. So like this they can prepare like this, flow the field of this hard ground with the help of animals. Then after that sowing seeds in that soil, then after providing water, then it will grow like this, irrigation. After that a farmer using pesticides to that crops, then like this will grow the crops in the soil, isn't it? For example you can one more example you can see here how the farmers working in the fields, they are sowing seeds in that fields and growing crops. For example you can see coconut, sugar cane, rice, wheat, all that can grow like this in the topmost layer of the earth. Next, the soil we see around us was not formed in a day. It took millions of years to form. Soil is formed by the breaking up of rocks into small pieces. These small pieces are further broken down into smaller particles. Finally, by the action of climate and living organisms, the topsoil is formed. These small particles are carried to different places by running water and wind. Here, now we can see that around us, the soil we can see around us but here the soil will not create or form in a day, in a single day. So it took millions of years to form the soil. So the soil will take millions of years to form, to create as a soil. So soil is formed by the breaking up of rocks into small pieces. And when we breaking up that rocks, huge rocks, that time some particles are spinning in the air, they fall down. That particles after it create that as a, after the mix that water and air, so all that, then it will convert into as a soil. Some small particles as a become converted as a small pieces, then soil. So like this, for example, you can see that the stone cutter, when he was cutting small stones, that time we can see some small particles, small pieces that of the rocks, so that we can see as a soil. So these small pieces are further broken down into smaller particles when we are breaking up that huge rocks. And after, what happened, that broken down into smaller particles, what will happen, as a small pieces particles we can see. So finally, by the action of climate and living organisms, other things we can see, climate conditions and living organisms, the topsoil is formed. After that, it will convert into as a topsoil in the is formed. So like this it will convert as a soil. Then it will help us to grow some crops, isn't it? These small particles are carried to different places by running water and wind. And also these particles are carried to different places. From, for example, in the heavy rainfall, that time water moving, flowing its own way, isn't it? So that time small particles of that, all that, it is running towards that with the water and wind. For example, wind also, when wind blowing, that time small particles they are moving one place to another place. So like this, all that soil it will convert into the living organisms, then it will form as a soil. For example, even you can already you have learned that lesson in desert, that in desert area some wind blowing that, that a small particle of that sand, how moving one place to another place, like this it will happen, it will form as a soil. Then it will help us to grow the some crops. We can grow crops, then we can like wheat, rice, we can grow crops. It will help us to, we are using as a food, all human beings, isn't it? So this is about what, soil. Next we are going to learn the types of soil. In India, different types of soil are found based on its varied physical features and climate. In India, soil can be categorized into 6 types. Here about types of soil. In India, different types of soil are found based on its varied, means different physical features and climate. Different types of soils we can see in our country, and also it is varied from the physical features about according to climate condition. It has its own feature. But here in India, soil can be categorized. Again, we can classify that soil into 6 types. Again, in our country, we can classify the soil into 6 types. The first one, we learn about that alluvial soil. You can see, and also here you can see here that alluvial soil. That given picture, there is a what, alluvial soil. Alluvial soil is the most fertile soil found in India. It is mostly found in northern plains and along the coastal plains. Already we have learned that northern plains and coastal areas, isn't it? So in that place we'll get that alluvial soil. Alluvial soil is the most fertile soil. Fertile soil, we can grow crops very you can grow the crops very good crops you can grow. That fertile earth, it helps the grow more crops, isn't it? And this alluvial soil found in India, where it is most found in northern plains and along the coastal plains. So like this, it helps to grow the crops. And the Himalayan rivers bring down a huge amount of fine silt which gets deposited on the river banks. It is rich with all mineral nutrients and retain moisture for long. A variety of crops such as rice, sugarcane, wheat, pulses, oilseeds, and vegetables grow well in this soil. Here the Himalayan rivers bring down. No, already we have learned that Himalayan rivers, they bring down the huge amount of silt. Silt means some soil or mud, dirt. So all that it was bring towards the water, with water which gets deposited on the river bank. After that, all that rivers flowing along its own way, and it deposited on the river banks. Beside banks, it is rich with all minerals, and also that all that soil, it contains nutrients, food that nutrients, and retain moisture for long. So that soil is very useful to grow crops. You will get a good crops. So that is, we can say alluvial is a fertile soil. It retain means it carry, it contain moisture, means wet for long time. So it helps the good crop in that alluvial soil, isn't it? Then a variety of crops such as rice, in that alluvial soil you can grow such crops. You can grow like rice, sugarcane, wheat, pulses, oil seeds, and vegetables grow well in this soil. So like this, such crops you can grow that alluvial soil. That is very important, most important fertile soil, isn't it? Remaining part I shall continue in next video. Thank you.